Hey everyone, it's Joe the 50-something Dasher, and in today's video I want to kind of hit on a subject again that it's kind of like one of these gray area subjects that you hear a lot of different gig tubers weigh in on, and I don't think anybody really knows for sure the exact answer here, but still it's something that a lot of people talk about not really knowing for sure. And there's a lot of those gray areas with DoorDash. But so in this video, I wanted to cover as far as how in danger are you on the deliveries that you do where you're not taking the correct routes to get the system detects that you're not staying on the intended route to go to either the pickup or the delivery. And it kind of mostly pertains to multi-apping, but it can even pertain to somebody like me who doesn't multi-app. So just kind of background here. The reason why I decided to do this video is here recently, for the first time in several months, I decided to watch, kind of like rewatch some videos from my favorite gig tuber. And I don't like to name drop, you know, so I won't here, but this is somebody that stopped putting out content about a year ago, so it's kind of like old content that I'm watching. Anyway, he did a video on multi-apping, where he talked about the concerns people had with multi-apping, as far as you're not always going to be going in the intended routing for an order if you are multi-apping. And his stance on that was that you have it's all by the times. So you have your intended, you have to pick up an order by a certain time at the restaurant, and there's a scheduled delivery time that the order has to be at the customer. And according to this Dasher, at the time, again, it did not matter, as long as you met those times. It didn't matter what roads you take, the routing or anything, or you could go, like, if you had enough time to do it, you could, drive the complete opposite direction and for a couple miles and then head to the intended destination. But as long as you were hitting the appointment times, the pickup times, delivery times, then it didn't matter, and you were safe from everything. But I've watched other content since I've been a Dasher, where other content creators tell a completely different story and have a different theory. I've seen other content where creators say that you can get into trouble even though you're making the times that like you're supposed to. The system still can detect when you're traveling in places that is not on the intended route, and even though you're not, you deliver an order on time, but since you didn't take the proper routes to get there, I've heard other, like I said, gig tubers say that you can still get into trouble. So which is it? I mean, and like I said, people have different theories, and it would be nice to know if we had definitive like answers on this. But and again, I'll mention that even though I'm not a multi-apper, I still, like, occasionally will run into this, and I still have some concerns. This morning I had trouble. There's a couple different things, like I a lot of times I'll accept orders from home. And this morning on my first offer, I had some problems getting out of the apartment. It took me a couple minutes to find my wallet. It was placed somewhere I don't normally put it. And then I couldn't open the garage door at first because my wife's car was parked too close to it, and this and that. And it took like 2 or 3 extra minutes to get out of my garage than it normally does. Well, I didn't see this message today, but I have in the past where I've got a message on my phone on the app saying, an in-app message saying, you don't appear to be heading towards the pickup location. And so it can tell that like I'm not moving at all. I also had a delivery, this has probably been about 2 weeks ago, where I picked up an order. I was on my way to it was when we had like real heavy rain and there was flooding in certain areas and different roads were closed because of the flooding. I approached one intersection the GPS wanted me to turn on. Road was closed. There's cops there blocking it off. And then, you gonna hit my car here or what? And then so GPS rerouted, come to another intersection that was closed. So I ended up having to drive actually close to downtown Columbus area, get on the interstate, took a really long roundabout way to get to the customer. And when I got to the customer, I kind of explained the situation, and she was like, yeah, I saw how you were taking a long way to get here, but still understanding about it. But I really worry in situations like that because what if I get in trouble or get a and I can't remember, you would think I could remember this, but I don't remember for sure what the actual drop-off time for that was, and if it was technically still on time or late. I know it sounds terrible, but I don't remember on that particular order. But I do still worry about the routing. And now fortunately I don't run into those situations a whole lot, so I think it would have to be where you would have to run into it pretty frequently to maybe before you get into some trouble for it. But again, I don't know. And does anybody really know? Another thing with multi-apping and and here's another reason I don't like it, where like the content creator that I talked about that was in favor of it, saying that you could pick up orders from 2 different apps going in the same general direction. Well, that's true and everything, but they're very rarely, if ever, are you going to. I've only had this happen one time on DoorDash, just doing one platform, but I've had one order ever, stacked order, where I picked up at 2 places and the delivery for the first customer was right on the route for this second customer as well. So I would have gone the exact same way that I would if it was just one order to that second, and I didn't have to veer off the route or anything. But 99.9999999% of the time when you get 2 orders, yeah, they're going in the same general direction, but on the first customer, the routing is going to be it's not going to be the exact same route as to the second customer. You're going to have to get into kind of like a neighborhood or the general area, and you're going to have to make a couple turns and veer off the main route and go through a couple streets or whatever to get to that first customer. Then drop that off, get route through some, you know, to get back onto the main route to go the second, because that's, you know, just about always how it is. And the thing about that is, though, if single apper like me, that second customer can clearly see that there's a message on DoorDash, you know, your dasher is dropping off another order, and then they'll be to you. So that customer, if you're a single apper, the customer is alerted to why you're not coming directly to them. Well, see, the thing I don't like about multi-apping is if you're doing that on two different platforms, well, then let's say DoorDash was my second customer and I was doing an Uber Eats on my first delivery. Well, I got the Uber Eats and I'm, you know, heading towards the DoorDash customer, but then I veer off and go into some other housing community and I'm messing around in there for 3 or 4 minutes. Well, then the DoorDash customer is, a lot of times, and I do this as a customer, they'll be looking at the tracking and the map on their app of where you're at, and yeah, why did that dasher just turn into the Main Street housing community just now? And what's he doing, you know, messing around all in there? And then you're taking 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, you know, making a delivery, but they don't know what you're doing. And then like 5 minutes later, then it shows on the DoorDash customer end, then it shows your car now being back on track and starting to come towards them. I don't know. I just, you know, me personally, I don't like that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That's just me personally. But anyway, if you're a multi-apper, you know, definitely chime in here on the comments, your thoughts about all of this, or any comments in general about the, you know, not being able to follow routing to a pickup or drop off location in a timely, like, you know, straightforward manner, I guess is the best way to say it. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'm currently in the middle of a dash right now. Surprised I haven't gotten another offer, but I'll shut this video down and wait for my next offer. And thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Be safe out there driving.